we are going to start our study of functions. Functions are a mathematical area that is going to follow you the rest of your math career. Most of what you do in math from here on out, with the exception of maybe geometry, you are going to study functions. Okay? Now, we're going to define a function. I know right now you don't know what that is, but that's what we're going to get to today. So today we're going to talk about relations and functions. And today we're going to determine if a relation is a function, and we're going to identify its domain and range. Again, those are words we're about to define. Now, let's start with a relation. A relation is any set or collection. Collection would be a non-mathy word for a set. It is a set of ordered pairs. So we're looking at a bunch of points, okay? That's what we're going to be looking at when we're looking at a function. And a relation has two things. It has the domain, which is all your x values, and it has a range, which is all your y values. And I just read last week another way to remember this, or a way to remember this. X comes before y. X comes before y. D comes before r. So domain goes with x, range goes with y. May or may not help, but that's something you can use. Okay? Now, when we look at a relation, there are several ways it can be given to us. We're going to look at 3 of the ways today, maybe 4 of the ways. I'll get it together in a minute. First thing we're going to look at is a table. Now, you'll notice this table here talks about, I don't know why my pointer's off, talks about an input and an output, okay? The input, that's your x values, and the output is your y values. So, this is a table, like I said, and this gives us how many ordered pairs? This gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 ordered pairs. The ordered pairs here that they give us are 0, 5, that's our x value and our y value, 1, 2, 2, 2, and 4, 1. Okay, that would be the list of ordered pairs. So the domain of this relation are all your x values. 0, we're going to put little squiggly brackets. 0, 1, 2, 4. Here's how you do the squiggly bracket. Curve, point, curve. They'll take a little bit of practice. And then the range is all your y values. Here it would be 5, 2, and 1. Notice, even though the 2 shows up twice, I only write it one time. That's important. Don't rewrite things when you're listing the domain and range. Now, the second way we're going to look at a function is a mapping diagram. This is probably new to you. I'm not sure you've seen a mapping diagram before. The mapping diagram tells you what goes together, okay, by arrows. So here, 1 points to 0. So this is telling us that we have the point 1, 0. Notice that 2 points to 1. So we have the point 2, 1. 3 points to 2. So we have the point 3, 2, and 4 points to 2, so we have the point 4, 2. So, what's my domain and what's my range? My domain, do squiggly bracket, curve, point, curve. X values are 1, 2, 3, 4. And my range is my y values. I have 0, 1, 2. Notice I didn't write the 2 more than once, even though it showed up in 2 points. Okay? Now, the third way that we want to look at is a graph. You guys are familiar with a graph. Here I've got 3 points on the graph. What are the points they give me? Well, I have the point 1, 2. I have the point 2, 3. And I have the point 4, 5. So what I want you to do right now, I want you to stop the video and I want you to list the domain and the range of this relation. All right, did you get that your x values were 1, 2, and 4, and your y values were 2, 3, and 5? Okay, now we're ready to see what makes a relation a function. A function is a special relation. A function is a relation in which each item in the domain, and your domain is which values? It's your x values, right? Is paired with or matched to only one, that's important, item in the range. And your range is which values? That's your y values. Okay? So a function is a relation in which each item in the domain is paired with only one or exactly one item in the range. Here's the big rule. Each x can only have, that's the word can, only have one y. Okay? That's your big rule. All right? Now, look at this first table. We've got the points 3, 1. 3 goes to 1. We've got the point 6, 2. We've got the point 9, 2. And we've got the point 12, 1. Is this a function? Well, you look at your x values. 3 is paired with 1. Is it paired with anything else? No. 6 is paired with 2. Is it paired with anything else? No. 9 is paired with 2. Is 9 paired with anything else? No. 12 is paired with 1. That's all it's paired with. So what you're looking for is, do any of your x values repeat? They don't. They all only have one y value. So this is a function because each x only has one y. Okay? So that's a function because it meets the definition. Notice the y value, the 2 shows up twice. We don't care. The y can be there as many times as it wants. It's the x's we care about. All right? Now let's look at the next one. What are my points here? I've got the point 2, 0. I've got the point 2, 1. I've got the point 4, 2. And I've got the point 7, 3. Is this a function? Well, right here, here's the kicker. 2 is paired with 0 and 2 is paired with 1, right? So this is not a function because 2 has 2 different y values. Two is paired with 2 different y values. It's paired with 0 and it's paired with 1. So this is not a function. It's a relation, but not a function. All right, look at this mapping over here. What do you think? What are my points? I've got the point 3, 7, got the point 5, 5, 7, 3, 8, 2. Do you think it's a function or not? Write what you think and give me your reason. Did you say it was a function? It's a function because every x value is only paired with one y value. All right, now you look at the second mapping diagram, determine what your points are, decide if it's a function or not, and give me your reason. Did you say it was not a function? It's not a function because 3/4 is paired with 3 and it's paired with 5. So this x value has 2 y values. Now notice they're using inputs and outputs. that's another word for domain and range and x and y. Okay, so your inputs are x, your outputs are y. All right, let's look at graphs. When you are looking at a graph, there is a special way to tell whether or not it's a function. And you're going to use what is called the vertical line test. Okay, vertical line is straight up and down. That's a vertical line. And here is the vertical line test. It's written for you here. A relation represented by a graph is a function provided that no vertical line passes through more than one point on the graph. Now that's a little wordy, but let's read it again. A relation is a function if no vertical line passes through more than one point on the graph. So if a vertical line does pass through more than one point, the graph is not a function. Now, we've got an example here. Look at A. You see how they've drawn in this vertical line here? And do you see how it intersects this point and this point? Is that more than one point? Yes, that is 2 points. So we would say this is not a function because it fails the vertical line test. Now, why does the vertical line test work? Why does the vertical line test tell us whether or not something's a function? We'll look at it for just a second. We have 2 points here, right? And this pointer is way off, okay? We have 2 points here. Look at this x value down here. What's this x value? 1, right? So what's this point? This point is the point 1, 2. What's the other point? 1, 4. So we have an x value with 2 different y values, so that's why it fails. This is not a function because there's an x value with 2 different y values. All right? Now, look at this one over here. I got a bunch of points again. What you want to do is the vertical line test. You want to run a vertical line through the graph. How many points do I intersect if I run a vertical line here? Just that one. If I run a vertical line here, just that one. Here, just that one. Vertical line here, I just intersect that one. Vertical line here, that one. So each time here, I only intersect 1 point, and that's okay. So this is a function because it passes the vertical line test. Okay, because every one of these x's down here, every one of the x's only has 1 y. Now, I want to do one more thing before we wrap up. First of all, what are the points of this function? What are my points? My points are, what, 1, 5, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 2, 5, 3, and 6, 1. Is that correct? Okay. So what are my domain and my range? I want you to write right here your domain and your range of this function. Did you remember that domain was your x values? And my x values are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And range are your y values, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice I did not write the 3 twice, even though it showed up twice. Okay? So, let's finish it up. If you have any questions, write them here, and we will practice with relations and functions in class.